All right, in this little tutorial, we're going to look at slides, and specifically in slides, we are going to look at word art. People ask me a lot about how I change my fonts around, how I make them different colors. How do I do that with all my lettering? Well, I don't use the basic text box and fonts. I come up here to insert and I use word art. Word art is pretty awesome. Type in whatever word you want, puts it on your page. One of the big differences between word art and the regular text boxes with your fonts in it is you can resize this. You can transform this. We can make it taller. We can make it shorter. I can make it wider. It's really cool if I want to put a banner across the top. I can drag this all the way across the top. I can resize that to make it to whatever shape that I want. I can also spin this. I can grab the top of the transformation bar. I can spin this around in any way. I can make it upside down whenever I let go. So you get the picture. Those are the first couple things that are really cool about word art. I want to make sure that I have this back to 0. All right. The next thing that's different about word art is you can use the fill. So I can fill this with black. I can fill this with yellow. I can fill this with a gradient color. I have all sorts of options in here. I could even, let's go back to the solid fill. This will be easier to see here in solid. So if I fill this with red, I can even change the transparency. So if I had this on top of an image, right, I can make it more transparent so you could see the image through the word. So let's go back and make this red and solid. The next thing you can do is you can change the border color itself. So if I want it to be yellow, you might not be able to see that. So I can also change the border width. Now you can see the yellow. Let me change that to a color other than yellow. I might be able to see it better. Right, I can change the width. I can also change the border style. Right, so already hopefully you're seeing all the different things that you can do with word art that you can't do with regular text. I'm going to go back and fill this with black, and I'm going to get rid of right now my border. Actually, I'm going to come here and make it transparent. I don't want a border. I'm going to change my, oh, and yes, you can change the font just like you can use any font that you can get. So now one of the easiest tricks that I do, I'm sure a lot of people do it too, is what I'll do is I'll create my word. I'll select my word and I'll copy and paste it, Control C, Control V, and then I'm going to offset it. It's already offset a little bit, but I'm going to offset it just a little bit from the original. And I'm going to change the fill color. Let's do like this light gray color. You can already see that now I've made a little shadow behind my word. If I add a border around it, let's see. And I want it to be solid. Just little things to spice up your slides. I'm going to get rid of the border again. Sometimes I like the shadow to be more gray instead of the dark color. So what you can do is you can arrange this like photos. And a couple ways you can do this. You can right click and come down to order. You can go to arrange. What I like to do is use the shortcut key, and Control down arrow will take it backward. Control up arrow will bring it forward. So let's go back. And again, you can see that now that's behind. Now I'm going to change the background color really quickly. This is of the slide. Now, if you see, if I select the behind color, I can, or behind word, sorry, change the transparency, give it more of a shadowy look. I can even, if I really wanted to change the transparency of the front word, whoops, Control Z, didn't want to do that. Control the transparency of the front word, just to show you different effects that you can do. The last quick effect I'm going to show you, I'm going to turn this front word back to black. I'm going to get rid of the shadow behind it. I am going to change my background back to white because this effect looks a little bit better on white. So I'm going to make another copy of my word, Control C, Control V. And then if you watch what happens when I'm going to select the top transform button here. And when I pull it down below the bottom line, what happens is the word flips over. So if I put the word underneath here, it looks like it's reflecting kind of in a pool or something. I can even go to gradient and change that background color or the fill color to a gradient color, and it makes it even look more like it's floating on top of a pool. And that's really it. That's your fun with word art. Get in there and mess around with it, play with it, transform it, add different colors. Hopefully that helps and it spices up your slides.
I wrote a